Most trainers' team composition is based on the widest possible diversity of the known Pokemon types. I've been curious about how this would work in our most recent Pokemon game, Pokemon Sword and Pokemon Shield. What's good, Chaotic Nation? It's your boy, Chaos here, and I've been known to build teams throughout my career here on YouTube, based on teams for the best for certain situations, like the best team to take on the main storyline, and teams for my opponents in my draft league, the PDL. But today I wanted to look at building a team to be as diverse as possible. So I will be building a team based on a few criteria. But first, I want to give a shout out to No Leaks Louie and the Legion Squad for unintentionally giving me the idea for this video. Louie is currently running a gym challenge in his Discord server, which I am a part of, so if you'd like to join and take me on, feel free to check out the link in the description below. I bring this up because one of the stipulations for his gym challenge is that you cannot bring two Pokemon with super effective same type attack bonus or stab against the gym leader you are facing. So if you were challenging me, the flying type gym leader, you would only be able to bring two Pokemon that are either rock, electric, or ice type. I have included this stipulation to this team in order to try to build the most diverse team as I possibly can. Speaking of rules for this team, I will be following these stipulations when building the team. Number 1. I cannot use more than two Pokemon that are super effective on any particular type. This only accounts for stab, the super effective type bonus that is given to each Pokemon based on their typings. So I cannot use Pokemon stabs that are super effective against the same type over and over again. For instance, if you were looking at flying type, I cannot have a Pokemon that is a rock type, an ice type, and an electric type on my team. This list will also only be using the Sword and Shield Pokemon Dex only, the decks that came out originally with the game. I will not be including any of the DLCs or any other updates to the decks, as I don't really want to do that, and I kind of wanted to try to build this in the actual Sword and Shield game myself. Number 3. Dual types can have both stabs be super effective on any given type, and only count as one entry. So if I have a Pokemon that has two super effective attacks on one type, aka if I had a rock and ice type, like Aurorus, fighting against my gym, the flying type gym, it would only count as one entry on the list, since it is the same Pokemon. And finally, number 4, I cannot use Legendary, Mythical, or Ultra Beast on this list. I am including Ultra Beast in this just in case you guys want to classify them as something else. Mythical as well, because a lot of people categorize them separately as a subset of Legendary, but I am including all three of these things as not usable for any of these teams that I have built using these stipulations, because I just feel like it would be overpowered and not usable. With all that being said, let's get into the team. I'm not gonna lie, it was pretty difficult to find a starting point for this team, as I usually have a choice of a few Pokemon, whether that be my drafted team or the starters to build my team to begin with. But I figured out a place to begin. There are only two types in the Pokemon franchise that have one weakness, those being the normal type and electric type. So this team is required to have at least one fighting type and one ground type on the team in order to affect all the types super effectively. I decided to investigate the fighting type first, and I determined that Lucario is the best fighting type to include. Lucario is a dual fighting and steel type Pokemon, making its stab super effective against the rock type, normal type, steel type, ice type, dark type, and fairy type. Next up, I wanted something to pair well with Lucario, and so I looked at what was good against Lucario based on super effectiveness. So I decided to look into the Psychic and Fairy type, and I found Gardevoir. Gardevoir's stab covers Fighting, Dark, Dragon, and Poison types. It's not a lot of coverage, but it does eliminate any potential Pokemon that are super effective against Dark types, since both Lucario and Gardevoir are super effective against Dark types with their Fighting type stab and Fairy stab, respectively. I realized that, again, I needed to get a ground type in order to deal with the electric type super effectiveness. So I went back and I chose one of my favorites, Gastrodon. As a water ground type, Gastrodon's stab deals with electric, fire, ground, rock, and steel types. And here is where I realized something interesting, that the combination of having to use a ground type for electric types and a fighting type for normal types eliminates the possibility of using any other type that is super effective against rock or steel, since both fighting and ground are super effective against rock and steel, and we already know we have to use them. So I really decided to add Gastrodon since it allows me to also have a water type on my team, since I couldn't use it because the rock type had already been covered. So that's part of the reason why Gastrodon's on this list. Having built half the team, I decided to take out some of the types that I already had coverage for, as to limit my options going forward. I decided to look at rock types, since I had a Lucario that dealt with ice types, and a Gastrodon that dealt with fire types. And I went with Tyranitar, because I thought ahead of the coverage on ghost types, which are only weak to dark and ghost. Tyranitar is a rock and dark type, which means it covers flying, fire, ice, bug, ghost, and psychic, and already starts to begin my ways to deal with ghost types. To finish off the ghost types, I decided to provide coverage of dragon as well, and I chose the new Pokemon Dragapult as this spot. As a ghost and dragon type Pokemon, it covers the dragon type, the ghost type, and the psychic type, effectively getting rid of many of my type diversity that I need to meet. Now at this point there's not many types left, so I decided to really look into it, and I found this little guy here, a very cool, interesting electric and poison type to fill my last spot. Luckily, Sword and Shield introduced this really cool Pokemon with such an incredible typing that it really just fit my team perfectly. Toxicity is a electric and poison type, so its stab deals with water, flying, grass, and fairy. And thus Toxicity finishes our type coverage by dealing with the last few typings that we really didn't have any coverage for. It's a great utility mon for finishing off these last couple types, and it gives us one Pokemon that is super effective against at least every single type, and some of them even two. Well, that's the team. Thanks for watching, and I hope you have enjoyed it. Let me know in the comments section what team you have come up with using these stipulations, and let me know if you'd like me to do this for another Dex or another generation of Pokemon. I had a lot of fun coming up with this idea, so just let me know if you want to see this down the road as a different Dex, a different region, different game. Just let me know if you're interested in all of that. Hit that like button if you enjoyed this video, and make sure you subscribe with the notification bell turned on for more updates on content from me. Stay connected by checking out the description down below to connect with me on Twitter, Discord, and on Twitch. Thanks for watching, and until next time, I'm Chaos, signing off. Stay safe, and as always, burn it up.